Today I effed up by not realizing I was in a committed relationship while I was being dumped. I was just dumped a couple of hours ago, but it didn't go how I thought it was supposed to go. In my view, I have been seeing this guy for a couple of months casually. Sometimes we see each other 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks. We text, but nothing in depth. We hang out, hook up, sometimes spend the night and rinse and repeat. I'm paraphrasing what happened today. He wanted to talk, so I met him for breakfast today at his place. He was very apologetic and sad and said, "This has been great getting to know you, but I don't think this is working out anymore." I basically said, "Okay, do you still want to have breakfast?" In my head, I was like, he's ending the casual relationship. It's fine because we had this talk in the beginning about either of us ending it whenever. He just kept looking at me while we were eating, and finally he said, "You know you don't have to hold it in. It's okay to be sad." I was confused, so I said, "Why would I be sad? I enjoyed my time with you. It's over." He then said, "Well, we were in a relationship, so it's not like ending a hookup." This is where I fucked up. I said, "Yeah, but it was a casual relationship." He said, "What do you mean casual? We have been exclusive for over 3 months now." No, we haven't. We had never had a talk about being exclusive. We literally only meant to do fun activities and then hook up. When did we decide we were exclusive? My face showed that this was brand new information to me. He said, "We kept spending time together. It was implied that we were exclusive." No, it wasn't, and I told him that. He then asked if I had been seeing other people, to where I was just silent, which basically answered it for him. He started yelling and getting angrier because I wouldn't answer his questions, but I literally felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. It was too much information to process at once. I left because he was now saying I cheated on him. He's now blowing up my phone and saying that we have to talk because he's been loyal, while I haven't. I just don't even know what to say. Like what? We never had a talk about exclusivity. TLDR, I was hooking up with a guy. He thought we were exclusive. I thought it was casual. He dumped me and then got mad that I cheated on him while we were exclusive. We never had a talk about being exclusive. I'm now hiding from him because he wants to talk. Top comments. Dracoy. Communication is apparently a superpower nowadays. Robbie R. This is the perfect scenario for a Seinfeld episode. Raging Flower 580. And George is definitely the man in this scenario. Moonlit Nights. I'd just text him, tell him there's nothing to talk about, and in his next relationship, he should make it clear and not think because he thinks something is implied that it is. Then block him. Life is too short for drama. Update months later. I would be very surprised if this post wasn't deleted, but I made a post a few months ago about finding out I was in a committed relationship while being dumped. The post was deleted, and I honestly forgot about making it. Basically, in the original post, I thought I had a FWB situation with a friend, but he thought it was something more, and when he was dumping me, I found out he thought we were exclusive for 3 months, and that us being in a relationship was implied, though we had never talked about being anything other than casual. Just to answer some questions, how were we able to see each other so much? We're college students. Our apartments are literally a street apart. We could go over to each other all the time, whenever we wanted. B. What was the relationship like? We would literally text each other memes or funny things or ask when the other person was free to hook up. There were no in-depth convos, dates, or anything like that. Sometimes, we would hook up multiple times a week, sometimes once in 2 weeks. C. What were the fun activities? Movies, bowling, indoor golf, and just walking on a trail, etc. We're in college and not rich. D. Was what was expected discussed? Yes, in detail. Before we started a sexual relationship, we discussed what we expected, the rules, what we wanted, and what we would do if someone changed their mind. We both wrote the rules down in our phones, and the biggest rule was to communicate if something changed for you. E. How many people were you hooking up with? One other person, believe it or don't, but I had him and another person. If one was busy, another was usually available. F. Did he know you were hooking up with other people? I told him early on I was talking/hooking up with another person, but I didn't explicitly tell him who that person was. I used protection, and I have been tested for both. After I left his apartment after the initial post, we didn't talk for months. I did a semester abroad, and he did an internship in another city. When we were both on the same campus again, I messaged him to discuss things. I asked him, did he really think we were in a committed relationship? He said no. Though he was down for a FWB, once he saw me talking to a guy at a bar, he got jealous and didn't want me talking to anyone else. Why did he act like we were in a committed relationship? because he wanted to see my reaction. If I was hurt that he was ending it, then he would have changed his mind and given it another chance, but exclusively this time. Was he hooking up with other people too? Yes. So he was never exclusive with me and made up the relationship angle as a lie. I honestly panicked in that initial conversation, and I apologized if I hurt him in any way, but until that point, I thought we had both been transparent with each other. Turns out he didn't really like the idea of me hooking up with anyone else but him and made up this committed relationship. We are now good and back to being platonic friends. TLDR, FWB dumped me and made me think he thought we were in a committed relationship. Turns out feelings on his end had changed, and he didn't want me seeing other people. We talked it out and are now platonic friends. Edit, we barely see each other now. I haven't hooked up with him since before the breakup convo, and don't ever plan to do it again since I know there were feelings on his end that I don't reciprocate. I can see what he did was manipulative, but I don't really care to get an apology from him. I will just maintain my distance. I appreciate the concern though.